evening. It's News 360 coming to you live from the News Hub here at Adesawe Kanda. I am Portia Gabo.
Good evening. I am Noble Crosby, and let's take a look at the headlines of the bulletin tonight.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal, EcoBank.
In the bulletin tonight, Parliament passes legal education reform bill, abolishing Ghana School of Law entrance exam and decentralizing professional legal training for aspiring lawyers.
And also coming up tonight, founder of Pan-African Heritage World Museum, Kojo Yanka, says debt cancellation should be part of reparations after UN General Assembly passed resolution on transatlantic slave trade.
A pioneering breast milk bank at the University of Ghana Medical Center is helping mothers unable to produce breast milk, helping save babies.
Later in business news, speakers at the Media General Economic Dialogue urge governments to implement deliberate policies to protect and sustain indigenous Ghanaian businesses.
Much later in international news, U.S. President Donald Trump says the U.S. will be Iran's worst nightmare if it doesn't agree to a peace plan, and repeats that Tehran is begging for a deal. Welcome to the program. We're live also on all our social media platforms at TV3 Ghana. You can join us there and we can get interactive. Let's settle for the details.
In our first story, renowned international artist Ibrahim Mahama, who was allegedly assaulted by a team of police personnel, has intensified his call for justice. Ibrahim Mahama was at the police headquarters in Accra at the invitation of the Police Management Board to give his account of the incidents that allegedly led to his attack.
Following the alleged police assault on artist Ibrahim Mahama in Tamale, the Inspector General of Police, Christian Teteyohunu, and the Police Management Board extended an invitation to Ibrahim Mahama to officially present his accounts. This followed the Northern Regional Police Command initiating investigations into the incident. On Thursday, Ibrahim Mahama, accompanied by his uncle and legal counsel, met the Police Management Board in a closed-door meeting that lasted about an hour. Addressing journalists, Ibrahim Mahama pressed for justice to be served.
We just want justice. That's it. It's just that, these things, they take a while. I've been going to the dentist, drilling, there's teeth reconstruction and other things happening. Yes. So, in Tamale, we don't have an MRI scan. So now that I'm in Accra, I also have to follow up and do a scan again, things like that. So setting the point is that when things like this happen, the question is that how do we make sure that it does not repeat itself? As I said before, none of us have any problem against the Ghana Police Service. The Ghana Police Service have been very kind to us. It's said that specific unit that assaulted us that we want to make sure that at least some kind of justice is served.
The case has been transferred from the Northern Regional Police Command to the headquarters in Accra, while the Police Professional Standards Bureau, PPSB, hastens investigations. Director of Police Public Affairs, DCOP Grace Ansankrofi, provided further details from the engagement with the artist.
As we speak, the regional command has done a lot of investigations so far. They've taken statements from Mr. Ibrahim and his team. They have visited the scene. They visited to check up on him at his residence. Today, they have come. IGP has heard them. Our assurance to Mr. Ibrahim Mahama is that the police are willing to work with him throughout the investigation process till we get to the end of it, and we have assured him of a thorough investigation.
For now, the IGP Special Operations Team, also known as the Black Maria, has been reassigned to the Ashanti region, where they are to complement the regional police effort to fight drugs and crime in the region. Stanley Niblew, TV3 News, Accra.
Now to a life-saving intervention in healthcare. For many families, childbirth can quickly shift from joy to uncertainty when babies are unable to breastfeed. But a rare initiative, a pioneering breast milk bank at the University of Ghana Medical Center, is improving survival chances for premature and critically ill newborns. Sarah Penkro has more in this report.
Mary is here at the UGMC to donate breast milk at the Human Milk Bank as a volunteer. As a regular contributor who has donated for months, she describes it as a simple act that can make the difference between life and death for another child.
I had my baby here at the UGMC. When I came in, I was in a room with another mother who had also delivered but couldn't get breast milk within the early days for her baby. I just decided to step in and help. Seeing her struggle every day and the baby crying, not getting enough food, I decided to try the first time to see how it goes. It went very well, so even after I got discharged and I went home, I still decided to come and then donate for them.
The safety of the milk remains a top priority. Donated milk undergoes rigorous screening and processing before being approved for use, ensuring it meets clinical standards for infant care.
So this is the raw milk that we are supposed to pasteurize. And then we have a thawing machine. You can see this is frozen. It's all frozen. So we use this thawing machine to melt it. So after melting it, we transfer it into this pasteurizer where the pasteurization takes place. We pasteurize it to make it free from any microorganism that will be harmful to the baby.
The initiative, Ghana's first of its kind, has already supported a growing number of babies, relying on a steady pool of lactating mothers who volunteer as donors. In the neonatal units, vulnerable infants who cannot receive milk from their mothers are supported through donor breast milk, which is safely screened, pasteurized, and stored under strict medical standards.
So the first is to recruit and screen donor mothers. So these donor mothers are women who are breastfeeding and have excess milk. The women will come in and then they are screened. The screening involves testing them for certain infectious diseases, specifically HIV, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and syphilis. Once a mother is negative for these diseases, then she is eligible to be a donor for the bank. So far we have seven active donors. For now, we are providing the milk free of charge. So to start, we are focusing on babies in neonatal intensive care units or NICUs and newborn nurseries. And specifically, we are focusing on preterm babies and sick neonates.
But beyond the statistics, the real story is written in the lives of mothers and their babies. For beneficiary mothers like Amma, the milk bank has been life-saving.
When I needed it the most, that's when I had it. Because I gave birth prematurely, so the stress alone, I wasn't getting the breast milk for my baby. And my baby was due to suck, but then no milk. And baby started to cry, and you know, premature baby, the human milk is the best compared to the formulas and others. So when I called and they answered and they gave me, that's the depression for getting the breast milk was sorted. I'm pleading with mothers, they should donate more so that they can save a life, because they saved me and my baby.
Another mother, Gloria, wished the initiative had come earlier.
Very excited about this initiative because 5 years ago when I had my daughter, after the birth, there was no breast milk. And even throughout the entire process, being discharged and being home, that I had to even rely on another breastfeeding mother, milk, you know, which I hadn't consulted any doctor. I mean, I just wanted a solution for my daughter. So looking at this initiative that we have here in Ghana, the Human Breast Milk Bank, I felt like if this was in existence 5 years ago, definitely the doctors would have gotten something for my daughter to feed on.
While the initiative is already improving neonatal outcomes and easing the emotional strain on mothers, healthcare professionals say expanding awareness and increasing donor participation will be key to its future success.
We realize the responsibility this puts on our shoulders to be the first of its kind in Ghana, but we do not want to be the first and only one. We want to be able to share our knowledge and experiences with others so that we can have something like this set up in every region in Ghana. The idea is to have a good store of breast milk so that then we can be pasteurizing and then subsequently be able to distribute when people need it, when the babies need it. And so we need more donors.
Breast milk banks are relatively rare in Africa, but are slowly growing, with only about 8 operational milk banks across the continent as of early 2025. Breast milk provides essential nutrients, boosts immunity, supports brain development, and protects newborns from infections.
Sarah Apenko, TV3 News, UGMC Human Milk Bank, Accra.
In more news tonight, founder of the Pan-African Heritage World Museum, Kojo Yanka, says recognition, reparations and debt cancellation are necessary to rebuild African nations' strength and identity. Kojo Yanka describes the slave trade as a monumental injustice, leaving millions of Africans displaced, divided and stripped of heritage. The United Nations General Assembly on Wednesday voted and has officially recognized the transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime against humanity.
Your beloved country is free forever.
Historians estimate that more than 12 million Africans were enslaved during the transatlantic slave trade. Ghana alone saw over 1.6 million people torn from their communities and shipped away. Founder of the Pan-African Heritage World Museum, Kojo Yanka, describes the slave trade as the greatest racial injustice in history, blaming colonization for dividing Africans and eroding their identity.
1844, European countries meet in Berlin and then put the map of Africa on the table and divide us like pizza or something, and then share Africa. We Africans ourselves have been totally divided by that act of the Berlin Conference. We have not even considered how terrible colonialism was.
International relations expert Dr. Nana Yao Miracle insists that apologies and compensation must follow.
If you look at what the resolution is really about, compensation of monetary value that will come to Africa or that will come to descendants of the slaves, for me, should not be on the table right now. There must be some acceptance of a crime that was committed as a heinous crime, as the grave. It's very, very important because you see, we don't want a repetition of that in future. So we want a commitment, a political commitment that it was a grievous crime against humanity. 2, then there must be some apology from the powers so be that were involved in it.
Kojo Yanka argues that debt cancellation should be part of reparations, giving African nations a chance to rebuild.
We are asking, therefore, that it should be possible for them to, all the loans that they've given us, you rape the country and then you say you are giving you money to build it back. They are saying, listen, some of these loans should be forgiven. Artifacts, bring them back. We don't need to apologize for them. We take inspiration from the fact that we'll use this opportunity to tell our own story, educate ourselves very well, it's important. 2, we need to heal. Seriously.
Meanwhile, the African Union welcomed the UN adoption, calling it a historic step towards truth, justice, and healing. Beatrice Soa, TV3 News, Accra.
And now the General Secretary of the Socialist Forum, Kwesi Pratt Jr., has criticized some countries, including Israel, for failing to support Africa in recent votes on reparations for slavery. He described the position as unfair and urged African nations to reassert their diplomatic and economic relations with such countries.
It's the gravest crime against humanity ever committed. That's a significant moment in our history. And we who have gathered here today ought to understand the full implication of that declaration in the UN General Assembly yesterday. One thing is clear, The lines were clearly drawn between those who carried out that inhuman trade, who profited from it, whose institutions continued to be built on that inhuman, illegal trade. They were on one side, and we were on another side. African trade unions have expressed solidarity with the Palestinian people, against whom Israel is committing a genocide. Yesterday, the lines were drawn. Israel was not on our side. Our solidarity with the people of Palestine, our solidarity with the people of Venezuela, our solidarity with the people of Cuba must be intensified for our collective prosperity.
Now, Parliament has passed the Value for Money Office Bill 2026, paving the way for a new independent body to oversee how government spends money. But what does this mean, and why should you care? Christabel Success Trevor explains.
Every year, government spends billions of cedis on projects like roads, schools, and hospitals. But over time, there have been concerns that some of these projects are overpriced. Think of it like this. If you decide to buy a house and a contractor tells you it will cost far more than it should, you would step in and check if you're being overcharged. That is exactly what this new Value for Money office is supposed to do for government spending. The bill introduced by Finance Minister Dr. Kasiel Atuforsen creates an independent office that will check whether government projects are truly worth the money being spent. So what will this office actually do? Before any major government contract is approved, the office must issue something called a Value for Money certificate. That certificate will confirm that the project is necessary, the cost is reasonable, and the benefits are worth it. The office will also assess projects, monitor how money is used, and even enforce sanctions if rules are broken.
It's not a bad idea. I sometimes wonder if what Ghana needs is more rules and more institutions.
For the ordinary Ghanaian, this is about ensuring that their tax money is not wasted.
I don't think it's needed. I don't think it's important to create new office for that, since there are other agencies responsible for that.
However, some questions remain. Will this office truly be independent?
Some of the ways you make sure that it is truly independent, for example, is the protections you give the office. Whoever is going to head the office, what is their tenure of office going to look like? What is going to be their appointment process? Who gets to appoint the head? Who gets to constitute those who work in that office?
Some also question why another office has to be created.
I'm wondering if an existing institution like the Public Procurement Authority, for example, would not be able to discharge a function like that. I'm wondering if even the tender committees within, particular agencies do not have the capacity to be able to do such value for money evaluations before even making recommendations. I believe this is a reflection of our response to the challenges that we tend to see.
The Value for Money office is expected to play a key role in improving transparency and accountability in public spending, but its success will ultimately depend on how effectively it operates. Christabel Success Trevor, TV3 News.
And now to the courts. The Accra High Court has set April 2 to rule on an application to halt the hearing of Wuntumi's illegal mining case, pending the hearing and determination of a request at the Court of Appeal. Lawyers of the NPP Ashanti Regional Chairman, Bernard Ntwi-Boesiako, also known as Chairman Wuntumi, have filed an interlocutory appeal against the dismissal of their submission of no case at the High Court. Lodo Dwasari has more in this report.
Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Ntwi-Boesiako, also known as Chairman Wuntumi, and his company, Akonta Mining, are facing 6 counts of allegedly allowing 2 individuals to undertake mining activities on the company's Samra concession without prior approval from the lands minister. They are also accused of facilitating unlicensed mining operations.
Both the NPP chairman and the company have pleaded not guilty to the charges. Following the order by the High Court for Wontumi to open his defense after submission of no case was dismissed, his lawyers have escalated the matter to the Court of Appeal, filing an interlocutory appeal. The court had earlier given the defense lawyers 7 days to indicate whether the accused would rely on witnesses or testify in person or waive their rights for the court to determine the case using the evidence provided by the prosecution. In court on Thursday, March 26, presiding judge Audrey Kokuvite asserted that the defense lawyers had filed an application to stay proceedings pending the hearing and determination of their action at the Court of Appeal. Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Remsai stated that the prosecution had been served only a while ago and waived the right to file a formal response opposing the application. Dr. Remsai subsequently prayed for an abridgment of time for the motion, which had been scheduled for April 16, to be heard immediately, maintaining that Wontumi's affidavit in support contained no factual depositions. But lead counsel for Wontumi, Andy Apiakubi, indicated to the court that he was not ready to move the motion. Justice Kokuvite then adjourned the proceedings to April 2 for the prosecution and defense lawyers to make their arguments in relation to the motion to stay proceedings pending the interlocutory appeal. Andy Apiakubi spoke to the media.
In a criminal trial of this nature, if there is an appeal against a decision that can bring the proceedings to an end, it is only natural that one must think of handling the appeal and seeing to the results of the appeal before we proceed.
Lord Idwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
Away from the courts, the chairman of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, Johnson Esiedun Ketia, has urged party supporters not to vote out certain office holders who sacrificed to ensure the party won the 2024 general election. Addressing supporters at Nsuta in the Ashanti region, the national chairman said the party needs to consolidate its gains in the opposition stronghold, which requires proactive measures and continued sacrifice. William Everton-Kum has filed this report.
The national chairman of the ruling NDC is touring some constituencies in the Ashanti region to show appreciation for the massive support they gave to the ruling party. In the 2024 elections, the NDC recorded over 34% in the Ashanti region, its highest vote share since 1996, in a region considered to be its political Waterloo, enough to secure them that 2024 landmark victory. The national chairman, addressing party supporters in Nsuta, stated the party cannot gloss over the exceptional sacrifices some office holders in the party made to secure its victory.
MPP for no kura a t-shirt ya omo bese enu ti mo fa kokodro nko krom na ya nyire ya ho na ya nyi seat ya.
Now, the NPP members are craving for a t-shirt. Be bold, step out and sell the party to people.
Na ebinum edisika beba se we oniska metuno me ebrebrenya branch chairman party power branch chairman.
Some people will try and influence you with money to vote out certain individuals who have toiled to bring us here. Never forget, such actions only breeds acrimony, and that can cost the party in the future. Maintain individuals you know sacrificed their all. For those playing games, vote them out. The national chairman has paused his tour for a meeting in Accra and is expected to continue next week.
Let's take you to Parliament now, where it has passed the Legal Education Reform Bill, paving the way for major changes in how lawyers are trained in Ghana. The new law seeks to decentralize professional legal education by abolishing the entrance examination for admission into the Ghana School of Law.
Yes, the entrance exam has been a major hurdle for law graduates seeking to pursue professional legal training, with limited space at the Ghana School of Law restricting access to the legal profession. With the passage of the bill, that system is set to change. Under the new Legal Education Act, accredited faculties of law across the country will now be allowed to provide law practice training previously the sole preserve of the Ghana School of Law.
There are many institutions. Every district assembly should have a lawyer. Every ministry should have a lawyer. You see, because there are many issues about procurement at the district level that you need legal advice in terms of how to go about it. So to say that there are too many lawyers, I've never been part of that. We really don't have the lawyers. A ratio of 6,900 to one lawyer is woefully inadequate. People study law to do legislation, and so you find them here doing legislation. People study law to do corporate practice. People study law to do many other things. And so the fact that those in courtroom practice are not enough does not make it, I mean, any excuse.
This training will become a mandatory requirement for LLB graduates before they can sit for a newly introduced national bar examination. The reforms are expected to expand access to legal education, reduce congestion, and create a more inclusive pathway for qualifying as a lawyer.
Those institutions, I mean, if you take University of Ghana, who already run faculties, I mean, they have the capacity. The existing Makwala is still there. It's still part of the institutions that will be training the professionals. So those institutions are already there. Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology has run this program for some time. GIMPA has done that, and then the rest of that. So there is this institution that already even have the capacity. All we need to do is just let them match up to the additional requirements that the law envisages. And so once they get that, and that's why we are saying that the existing institutions that already have the capacity should be able to absorb the backlog of LLB students who are in the system. And then as the years go by and will produce more, they will be able to absorb all of that.
The national bar examination will now serve as a final qualifying assessment for all prospective lawyers, regardless of where they receive their professional training. Supporters of the bill argue that the reforms will modernize Ghana's legal education system and align it with international best practices. Evelyn Tingma, TV3 News, Parliament House.
In more news tonight, as part of efforts to strengthen financial security for teachers beyond their active years of service, Glyco Ghana has launched a Teachers Provident Fund scheme. The initiative is designed to encourage a culture of long-term savings among educators while providing an additional income stream to complement existing pension benefits.
The chief executive of Glyco Pensions Ghana, Belinda Didi Tando, underscored the significance of the Teachers Provident Fund scheme, describing it as a strategic intervention aimed at empowering teachers to take control of the future.
If you are able to join the Teachers Provident Fund scheme, where you are able to contribute 16.5% of your basic income into the scheme, you are assured that by the end of a period when you are going on pension, your pension benefits will be enhanced.
Director of Glyco Trustee Pension Limited, Dr. Francis Sapora Grant, provided insight into the framework of the scheme, explaining that it has been carefully designed to align with the specific needs of teachers.
We have what we call the investment policy guidelines. That shows how the investment should be done, and it's supposed to be done in line with approved guidelines by the NPRA. By that means we diversify into both fixed income and non-fixed income investments, which ensures optimum returns to the contributor.
Deputy Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Smile Chisi, described the launch as a forward-thinking initiative that aligns with efforts to improve teacher welfare.
We are very happy to support and collaborate with Glyco Insurance to launch the Teachers Provident Fund scheme. It's very important that our staff are secured during their retirement.
The Teachers Provident Fund scheme by Glyco Pension Ghana is expected to redefine retirement planning within the education sector, positioning financial preparedness as a shared responsibility between institutions and individuals.
News360 returns with more stories after this break. Please stay with us.
I love President Charcoal.
Why? When there are so many charcoal toothpaste.
That's both charcoal and lemon.
Oh, does it?
Yes, look right here.
Yes.
Menu Afo. Now, speakers at the Media General National Dialogue are calling for stronger support for indigenous businesses to ensure Ghanaians play a leading role in the country's economy. Participants say achieving this will require deliberate policy action, including improved access to finance and a more supportive environment for private sector growth. They also stress that local businesses must enhance efficiency and competitiveness to better position themselves against foreign firms.
Ghana has recorded some improvements in key macroeconomic indicators in recent times, but concerns remain that a significant share of the economy is still not owned or controlled by Ghanaians.
Name any single company today that was a champion 15 years ago. Private sector. I don't. And we must move up the value chain. Cocoa, we must move up to process more. Gold, we must start refining. And you see, when I hear there's a refinery, and I hear the refinery comes in from another foreign investor, I say, how much is the amount of money required to set up a refinery? The value is here, but we don't seem to deal with it. And we go always cap in hand begging.
Access to affordable financing remains a major challenge for many businesses. Industry players are calling on government to support large-scale investments to ensure that more value is retained within the country.
What they could do is put a basic investment in, of course, which won't come to much, and fall on government to provide the needed capital to match the foreign partner or even exceed the foreign partner's investment. In other words, if it's a 60-40, the Ghanaian would own 60% and the foreigner 40%, but he may have only 10% investment. So that government comes up with the 50% to support the Ghanaian investor. And that 50% should be venture capital.
Meanwhile, leading industry players, including Star Oil, say Ghanaian businesses must prioritize operational efficiency and leverage technology to remain competitive.
If you had a foreign player trying to disrupt our industry, you can be very rest assured that there's a player like Star Oil that would make it almost impossible, because we built capacity enough to be so competitive that a foreign player can just not disrupt our model. Be operationally efficient, use technology to run your supply chain in such a way that no Chinese company, no European company can come in and disrupt the market because you are weak.
The dialogue brought together economists, business leaders, and policy experts to propose practical ways of strengthening local ownership of the economy. The event forms part of this year's Ghana Month programming and was held under the theme Owning the Ghanaian Economy, Mobilizing Ghanaian Capital for Growth.
In more news tonight, the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana, FABAG, has raised an urgent alarm over government's classification of sugar as a dual-purpose product, a move the group claims is artificially inflating the cost of production for local manufacturers. Under the current regulatory framework, sugar is categorized as both a finished consumer good and a raw material for industrial use.
FABAG argues that this distinction is redundant and financially damaging, as it often subjects industrial-grade sugar to the same high taxes and levies intended for retail-ready sugar. According to FABAG, the dual-purpose tag has led to a significant hike in production expenses for companies that rely on sugar as a core ingredient. Industrialists are facing tax structures that do not account for the volume and specific use of the raw material. General Secretary of FABAG, Samuel Agri, noted these added costs are inevitably passed down to the consumer, threatening the competitiveness of Ghanaian-made products against cheaper imports.
It has a huge impact, because here is the case: you need to pay the duty, you bring it to your facility, you produce, and then repay the excise duty to government. We need to declassify what really is sugar and what is really a raw material for us to be able to at least address that issue.
The association pointed out that the GRA already possesses the tools to prevent tax evasion without penalizing manufacturers. FABAG is advocating for a clear singular designation of sugar as a raw material for licensed manufacturers.
The ministry should come on board. Let us engage GRA for them to understand the reason why we need to decouple the raw material stage. So when you are bringing in your product, it goes directly into your facility. They have a way of monitoring the way you produce by the volumes and that declaration. That would be almost impossible because the tax stamp system is not allowing you to do that.
Away from that, Vivo Energy Ghana PLC has unveiled a new range of Shell Advanced lubricants designed to keep motorbike engines operating at peak performance. Aligned with its vision to become Africa's leading and most respected energy business, the latest addition to its product portfolio promises enhanced engine protection and long-lasting performance for motorists across Ghana.
For many riders in Ghana, the condition of their motorcycles remains critical, not only for performance, but for safety on the roads. In response to this need, Vivo Energy Ghana PLC, the exclusive marketer and distributor of Shell-branded products and services, has launched 2 new engine oils, Shell Advance Ultra 10W40 and Shell Advance AX7. The products are 100% synthetic 4-stroke motorcycle engine oils, specifically engineered to deliver high performance and enhanced engine protection for modern bikes. Managing Director of Vivo Energy Ghana, Christian Lee, says the introduction of these products is aimed at improving engine efficiency and extending the lifespan of motorcycles.
There is lots of research and development behind all our products, and today we are quite proud to launch the Shell Advance, the Ultra and the AX7. We care for everybody, for all type of motorists, but we have a special care for the bikers and the riders. All they need is reliability and confidence, right? And we're very happy to launch these 2 products because they are the ultimate biking product for them.
A technical expert from Vivo also shed light on the advanced formulation behind the lubricants, explaining how they reduce engine wear and ensure smoother rides for users.
You are not going to find this product anywhere. We react carbon dioxide and hydrogen, and we get methane gas. We react the methane gas also with oxygen, then we condense it into liquid. We add active cleansing detergents to this base oil to get that Pure Plus technology. You, the commercial rider, what that means is that you don't do a lot of top-ups, and that saves you a lot of money.
It's finally here!
Time now to look at how the cedi is faring against other trading currencies and how some of our key commodities are faring on the global market.
Ampofo. Black Stars head coach Otoado has expressed strong confidence in the squad's readiness ahead of their high-profile friendly against Austria on Friday. Speaking at a pre-match press conference in Vienna, Ado emphasized that the technical team has conducted an exhaustive tactical breakdown of the Austrian side to ensure the Black Stars are not caught off guard by their opponent's aggressive playing style.
First question is, I think in now modern days football, to be honest, everyone can beat everyone. I'm very, very sure, and I think we saw it at the last World Cup that there's no team to be underrated, and surely Germany is a high profile, but to be honest, I'm not thinking about Germany now. So for us, it's the full focus on Austria. We want to win every match we play, this is for sure. And now the full focus is on Austria. We saw what they do. We analyzed them well, and yeah, I'm very, very hopeful that the players will do it at the end. It's about them, and the focus on Austria. We know what to do. We now have to execute, and yeah, like I said, it will be an intense game, and this is what we're looking up to. And after the match, we will think about Germany.
From the head coach, let's move to captain of the side, Jordan Ayew, who says that the Black Stars are focused on delivering strong performances in their upcoming friendlies against Austria and Germany. Ghana will face Austria on Friday at the Ernest Happel Stadium in Vienna before traveling to Stuttgart to take on four-time world champions Germany on Monday. Speaking ahead of the two fixtures, Ayew stressed that every game remains important while acknowledging the significance of the two encounters.
Some games and those type of things, because we want to play for our country, we want to do well for our country, so every game is important. Even though we know these two games are really important, but even previously the other games were important as well, but just that sometimes it is what it is, you know. Coming to these two games, listen, tomorrow is going to be a tough game, Monday will be a tough game, so we'll do our best. I think we were preparing really well, you know, tactically, technically, physically, we look good. So let's see what happens tomorrow. I don't want to talk too much because obviously we've had a couple of days of training and what I've seen is positive. So we're ready for tomorrow, and we'll see if we can get a positive result, because we want to get a positive result, and after Monday will take care of itself.
Well, that was captain of the Black Stars, Jordan Ayew. Remember that the Ghana versus Austria match on Friday will be live here on TV3. Kickoff is at 5 p.m. However, you can join us at 4 p.m. for build-up to that game. Well, that's all the time will allow us here on the sports segment. My name is Oreku Ampofo.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by GTP Lifestyle
and Napa Foods, Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Powered by 3 Entertainment.
Well, good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, celebrated Ghanaian filmmaker Peter Sedufia is calling for urgent investment in film distribution, describing it as one of the key missing pieces holding back Ghana's movie industry. Now, known for hits like Keteke and Saiche Gang, he says Ghana has amazing stories, but without proper channels to showcase and sell films, the industry cannot grow.
There are a lot of good stories. People have good stories to tell. And no story can be told for free. Good stories also require good money to tell them.
The acclaimed producer noted that filmmakers often struggle to recoup their investments due to limited avenues for showcasing and selling their films. According to him, this financial uncertainty discourages reinvestment and pushes producers toward low-budget productions that ultimately affect quality.
When people make the films and they don't have the avenues to show them to make their money back, the urge to want to invest again is not there. And sometimes they are looking at cost-effective films that they wouldn't have to spend so much to make. And once they get into that realm of trying to cut down costs, then it starts affecting the quality of movies we churn out.
He stressed that the industry is at a critical stage where the development of dedicated distribution channels is essential.
We are in a phase where we need distributors that are going to carry our movies from our studios and find buyers for the film. And once these films are bought and the money is made, we are encouraged to make the next film and investing back into them. That is how we can grow the ecosystem. Distribution, because if I make the film and I don't make money from it, I'm not making the next one.
Drawing from his personal experience, Sedufia said he has relied heavily on international distribution networks to push his films beyond Ghanaian borders.
You can't even point an office and say, oh, this is a distribution company. We don't have it. We simply don't have it. A lot of films from Ghana that you see on international platforms and things are largely distributed by foreigners.
His remarks add to growing calls within the industry for structural reforms, particularly in distribution, as stakeholders seek to position Ghanaian cinema on a more competitive global stage.
And now some more stories. The Ghana Museums and Monuments Board has officially opened a special Fugu exhibition to the public. Now, Fugu, bold, cultural and uniquely Ghanaian, is now the focus of a major exhibition showcasing a variety of pieces that highlight its vibrant colors, intricate patterns and distinctive accessories.
Ghana's rich cultural heritage is once again in the spotlight as the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board officially opens a special Fugu exhibition to the public. From culture to creativity, Ghana's fashion heritage is taking center stage, and this time it's all about Fugu. The exhibition celebrates the beauty and cultural significance of Fugu, a traditional fabric deeply rooted in the identity and craftsmanship of northern Ghana. It also showcases a variety of Fugu pieces, highlighting their unique colors, patterns, and accompanying accessories.
If you are not a titled leader, you cannot put on this towel on your shoulder, which is supposed to wipe off sweat.
Speaking at the event, Acting Executive Director of the board, Isel Kwesi Blankson, emphasized that Fugu is more than just a fabric. He noted that it has the potential to become a major economic driver, especially for young people in northern Ghana.
Ghanaian Fugu traces its origin to the northern Ghana and embodies centuries of skills, creativity and tradition. Today, Fugu remains a living heritage, evolving while staying true to its roots. Fugu employs more people, especially the youth in the north, than agriculture, and has the potential to become the largest economic activity in Ghana, particularly in the northern Ghana. Because unlike many products, the design will be very difficult to imitate, and every design is unique to the wearer. This exhibition reminds us that preserving our heritage is vital not only for our talented artisans, but for the values, stories, and identity it carries.
The exhibition is open to the public for the next 2 months.
Well, that's it for the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Dong.
And that's it for News 360. Thank you so much for your time. I am Portia Gabo.
I am Noble Crosby, and make a date with Alfred Okansi at 10 with Ghana Tonight. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.